Hey guys, hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Today I want to take a little bit of time and talk about Italian stilettos. This little knife came from my buddies at Knives and More, a local knife store that I kind of hang out at and belong to and just kind of affiliate myself with because they're local. That's their number. If you're ever interested in anything, John and Tate can help you out. But this is a legit Italian-made stiletto by the company called Frank B. Stilettos. This is the Frank B 9-inch Italian stiletto in Staghorn. It's an automatic knife. Another maker of legit Italian stilettos is AKC, I believe. And the Italian stiletto has been around since, I believe, sometime in the 15th century. It was developed in Italy. Stiletto basically means that it's a small pointed dagger. That's what stiletto, to my understanding from Googling it, translates into. And when you look at this little knife, it is definitely a small, thin, pointy dagger. It's got a bolster that is a bolster-release. So you push that bolster right there. It releases the blade. It's only sharp on the underside, but does have that dagger grind. Snaps back into place. It does have a safety. When you slide that safety up, it stops the button from being able to engage. And again, this is a traditional Italian stiletto. They have different handles besides the stag. The stag seems to be the most popular and the most luxurious. But it's basically a needle-pointed weapon with a narrow blade designed primarily for thrusting, but it does have a blade, so it is something that is a cutter. It can cut. So this is the Frank B. This guy is under 200 bones. It's made in Maniago, Italy, where a lot of our Italian knives are made. About to have a visitor come through here, and I do apologize for that. Let him move through. Hold on a second, guys. That's what happens in real life when you're doing some knife reviewing. But anyway, this is more of an overview, kind of a show and tell. So this has got a polished bayonet blade, nickel silver bolsters, button, little pin there. You've got brass pins. It says on the blade here, Frank B, Italy. The backside of the blade is clean. You do have a sharpened edge. Now I can tell you this is not slicey sharp, but you can feel that it's definitely sharp. It's definitely got an edge. You could cut fruit with it. Again, this is a thrusting weapon, guys. This is a knife that the reason I think they've been made so scary is when they were developed for scary reasons, right? They were developed to be used as a pokey-stabby weapon. And with the stiletto being a folder, it became a concealable pokey-stabby weapon with really one purpose back in the old days, and that was to incapacitate somebody with a poke, a deadly poke. Frank Beltrame, I think, is how the Frank B name is pronounced. And my understanding is they've been making stilettos in Italy for over 40 years in Maniago, where most of the Italian knives are made. Beautiful representation. Again, natural stag handles. That's why you have the offset thickness. No big deal there. The knife centers up perfectly. You've got this nickel stainless as well as brass liners. And again, a legitimate pokey, stabby, scary knife. Another reason that they're scary and misunderstood is they've been the weapon in a lot of movies. You see them in a lot of the old gangster movies, the old street fighting movies, you know, stuff like that. This was the knife that was kind of made popular, that classic Italian stiletto design. It's a aggressive looking blade. It does look very much like it's got one purpose. Also makes for a great letter opener, a great package opener, and it's just a great collection piece. I've been exposed to, down at Knives and More, these Italian stilettos, some German lever action automatics, which are really, really neat. I was able to feature one of those on the channel. And it's just so cool to expose myself in this knife hike to different types of knives. Knives that bring together different types of design characteristics, different types of historical elements, and different types of opening locking methods. When I first started playing with this knife, I could not figure out how to get that bolster to rotate. And all you do is you just take your finger and push back on it. It raises this little point there. But that point, when it catches the knife, this thing's locked up like a drum. I mean, it's seriously locked up like a drum. I was trying to push the button and do things like that. But all you do is you pull back on this bolster, same side with the button. It raises that up and allows you to pull that blade down and shut it. Again, more of a thruster than a cutter, but definitely a cool knife. Do a couple of quick size comparisons for you guys just to show you how long this 9-inch, well, it's 9 inches. It's actually 8 3/4, I think. But if we took out a Benchmade bug out, and our Spyderco Paramilitary 2, longer by a long bit than both of those. Take out one more knife, then we'll get our Sharpie out. Cold Steel 4-Max. Shorter than the 4-Max and longer by a bit than the Sharpie. So a long knife does not have a clip, has never historically had a clip. You can, I guess, put these in slips, get a sheath made for it, or just put it in your back pocket. However gangster you want to be with it, that's kind of the gig. It's got a long blade. Let's do this. It's 9 inches. I don't know why the book that I was reading to do some research said 9 3/4. So it's got a 4-inch blade, a 5-inch handle, and then behind this bolster here, which is really where you're going to grab, especially if you're going to thrust with this knife, it's 4 inches. So it's 4 inches from right here to right here. So again, you've got a full blade guard, kind of like a little mini sword, and it is, it's a Slurpee saver. It's definitely would fall into that category of, if you come a sneaking, you might end up leaking category of knives. Definitely a tactical, an old school, traditional tactical. Weighs in at 4.35 ounces. So even back in the day, that inch per ounce ratio seems to hold kind of true. That's a 4-inch knife, a little bit heavier, but that could be the stag handles. I've got some down there that have different handle materials that probably weigh, you know, almost half an ounce less because you do have such a nice stag handle. And this one was closer to 2 bones than some of the others that were the same 9-inch version of this knife. It's just the handle material drives the cost. Made in Italy, the old-fashioned way, pinned together, very cool, very unique. And I think it's a scary knife because it's purpose, right? We always talk about, what are purpose-driven knives? I always ask people if they're asking, you know, what's a good knife for this or that? What are you planning on cutting, right? So I think the purpose of this knife was for jabbing Sammy in the neck because he didn't pay his gambling debt. Something like that, right? I don't think this knife was designed to fillet fish. I don't think it was designed to, you know, back in the old days, to cut rope, to work on ships. I think it was designed to, you know, Frankie fucked up. That's what happens, right? I mean, so it is kind of scary from its history. It's got a historical relevance to being a weapon, and a sneaky weapon at that was very effective at getting the job done. Guys, I appreciate you watching this video. It is for entertainment and historical content based on what I was able to Google up. But most importantly, I want to say thank you to the channel members. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for anyone who comes in and watches my knife and EDC content. If you're so inclined, please hit that subscribe button. that bell notification icon down there so you know my videos go live and when I go live. And hit that like button, leave a comment, hit the hype button in that comment section. That'd be awesome. But most importantly, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart and choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.